You need to understand what the markets are made of. The markets are to move money from the impatient to the patient, and from the greedy to the people that are patient and sustainable. And that's been happening since the dawn of mankind in different markets that continue to innovate. But as we love cryptocurrency being decentralized, we also have a factor of Wild West kind of gunslinging scenarios where it's everybody's in it for themselves. Sure, you have technology, you can track certain things, but it's a dangerous place out there as well. So you have to be playing, understanding that the person behind a meme page, right, may not have the best intentions in mind, and that you shouldn't be relying on them to get rich. You need to develop your own strategy, your own plan, and you need to build yourself up to have the confidence to be the person whose information you listen to. You're listening to everybody else, but how much time do you spend listening to yourself? How much time do you actually have conversations with yourself about your personal development and leveling up? Most people, not often enough. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on now. I have the privilege to do that, because when you're on hustle mode, it's very hard to kind of reset your mind. But if you have enough money, right, when all you need is enough money to be able to focus on yourself full time. Like, what would happen if for 8 hours a day, 7 hours a day, the focus of your day, your job, was to level up? That would be amazing. That would be unbelievable. You'd be ahead of your competitors. You'd be ahead of your potential enemies, I would call it, or business rivals. You're going to have so many advantages on a personal level, on a business level, on an intellectual level, and you're going to see things from a bigger perspective. So if you can beat yourself and you can win and conquer self, you can conquer everything.
When you say level up, right, what does that actually look like on a day-to-day basis?
It's becoming an intuitive individual, a person that's in tune and is present in every action that they take. Like, why do you do what you do? And what conscientious life, and you ask yourself, why do I eat this donut? Or why do I watch this video? And you actually start realizing that many of the things that we do are ludicrous. And if you can have that self-conversation should be the motivator to push you to get to the next level. And a lot of people's self-talk is very negative. And the reason it's negative is because they don't trust themselves. And of course you can't trust yourself. You look at yourself in the mirror and you look like you look at your bank account, you feel like shit. You go to bed, sleep 8 hours, you wake up tired. You go to a job that you hate. You're in a relationship that you don't enjoy to be in. So what in your life is pushing you to be motivated and to win? No wonder your mind is like, nah, I can't trust you. Because everything in your life that you're doing is self-sabotage. So what you have to do is you have to start accumulating small wins. You have to start waking up on time. You have to start eating clean. You have to start cleaning around you. You have to start exercising. You have to start listening to positive messages and not listening to all this bull music from the system. Start listening to some classical music. Start listening to some, some lo-fi. Start listening to something that has frequencies that literally elevate your spirit. But we're out here listening to all this garbage, and then we wonder, why is it that our life is so So do the simple things right. Build the foundational building blocks of your life, and then everything else can be built upon it. And I think that people always want the 10 best tips of this, the 10 best tips for the fastest whatever. This is going to be the best exercises for 2023. No, just do the fundamentals. Focus on doing the fundamentals well. And once you do the fundamentals well and you master them, and that takes years. And I'm still in the process of mastering and understanding the fundamentals myself. But once I have that foundation, that base, I'm indestructible.
Let me ask you this. What are the most obvious self-sabotage that the average person does?
Great question, brother. Food. People eat like they don't know what they're eating, right? So I was talking with Brett yesterday. I was telling him how 50, 60 years ago, chronic illnesses in adults were about 7%. Today's over 60% of adults in America have chronic illnesses. So what happened? And that's the journey you have to go through of, is cancer normal? Is me getting a tumor normal? Is me having Alzheimer's normal? Is me having dementia normal? And you start breaking down why things actually happen, and you realize, whoa, hold up. The food that I'm eating isn't healthy. The water that I'm drinking is poisonous. The toothpaste that I have full of fluoride and alcohol is absolutely destroying my teeth and destroying my system, right? The fluoride in the water is poisonous. It's calcifying my pineal gland, and it's up my mental receivers of information. People are dumb. They're like, all day. It's unbelievable. But they're being dumbed down by the food. That's the first one. The second one is social media. And it's ironic because people are going to be watching this on social media. If you can become a connoisseur of your feed and not allow the algorithm to control you and understand how to curate your content, that's one thing. But a lot of people are led by the algo. And the algorithm is designed for addiction. These companies, they bring in psychologists, right, to create systems and create actions that cause addiction. For example, you go on TikTok or you go on Instagram and you swipe down, right? And it does the motion like this, right? It's to mimic the casinos. When you go to the casino, luck, dopamine hit, dopamine hit, dopamine hit, dopamine hit. Dude, how many times a day? Like a lab rat.
It's classical training.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So once you understand the nature of why things happen, you begin to understand that the media around you, what you're being told, they're narratives that are curated by other people. And your goal is to figure out, why is this person saying what they're saying? Not what are they saying, but what's the intention behind what they're saying? What is the goal, the objective? And get to know the character behind the message and not trust people so much. Don't even trust us. Do your own research. When people look at my content sometimes on TikTok, I get screenshots sent to me by my team where people are like, source, trust me, bro. Bro, source, don't trust me. Do your own research. That is your source. So just because I'm giving you an opinion, it's simply an opinion on my perspective, my worldview. That's going to be a data set for you, whether you like it or not. Take it or leave it. I don't give a f. It is what it is. So we're being poisoned through the food. We're being poisoned through our minds. We're being poisoned through the system. And then finally, I think we're being poisoned with the entire narrative of what it actually means to be a man, what it means to be a good entrepreneur, what it means to live a life of purpose. You know, I think a lot of people wake up and they don't know why they do what they do. They don't really have a purpose. No wonder you're depressed, right? You have no meaning. But you can attribute yourself meaning by doing things that are bigger than yourself. And that requires self-belief, which goes back to the small actions. So those are things that I see that are complicated, but that I believe that if people can establish them as solid pillars in their life, they could be in a better place.